now is organizing a weekly meditation. When I heard about it, what came when Rosemary asked me if I wanted to lead a meditation with my friends or my group, I directly thought for a theme of connecting to someone's soul beyond the physical world, here or other place. And what came to my mind is our friend Sally, because what connect maybe all of us here today is this girl, this innocent girl we loved, and she was murdered. So I wanted to meditate so we connect to her soul and we have the chance to tell her something, or just to communicate with her. um, and um, and yeah, so today we are here for this. And the steps, first of all, I would like you to listen to a song so you understand maybe the concept. After that, Rosemary will be telling us about the whole idea of meditation, and then we will be in the meditation. Before we start the meditation, I'll show you something. So this is a cup. I know that not everyone could have the candle and the logo, but if you have a candle, just put it in a cap. If not, just connect with your heart. So while meditating, we will light the candle and start meditation. Just put it aside, so when we start, it is next to you. Repeating, Rosemary, I would like to ask you, in the song it was saying, I'm gonna let it shine for you and me. Yeah, so maybe it's a sentence from where we can start to tell the participants about the whole idea of this little light of mine.
Okay, thank you, Sabrina. Yeah, the idea is that everyone is a light in a metaphorical sense. I mean, we don't have a candle burning out of our head, but we light up the lives of other people. Everybody that I've ever known who has transitioned, who has died, there are people who come together and remember how they loved the person. That person was a light in their lives. That person lighted up their hearts, even though that person also might have annoyed them and made them angry. There is something about a person that we relate to, and it's very deeply rewarding. So that's basically, so the light of mine, we think about it in terms of a candle. But that's just a metaphor. The light is our being, our relating with other people. And we know that when someone that we love moves away in one way or another, we miss them. The light went out in our lives. So basically, the song is saying, I'm going to let myself shine. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be loving with everybody that I meet. It's very simple. I don't know that there's that much more to say.
Thank you, Rosemary. Shall we start the meditation? But before starting, maybe you can tell us how, for people who have never meditated, do we have to do something for a very deep connection? Do we have, which state do we have to be in? Could you help us about this?
Yes. How many of you have meditated before? Anybody?
I've done it once, maybe.
Okay.
Just once.
Okay.
I've meditated before.
You've meditated before? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
I do it
Anybody?
before I go to sleep.
Yeah,
To
you can
sleep
do it
easier.
before you go to sleep, right? You can do it when you wake up. You can do the great thing about meditation is we can do it anytime. We don't need anything. We don't, all we need to do is we need to turn our attention inside and allow our mind to relax. And that feels really good. Anytime that we have been able to relax and be and just be, not have to think about anything, not worry about anything, let it all go. And the process that we use to go into meditation actually is a physical process that makes us relax. And that is to slow down our breathing and pay attention to how it feels to breathe. That occupies our mind and it shifts our physical way of being. And as long as we're breathing more slowly, we're feeling that relaxation and that connection, the connection with everything. And that's all meditation is. It's mindfulness, to use the Buddhist term. It's being aware of everything that is around us and of ourselves in that moment and of what we're doing in that moment. People meditate in different ways. For instance, I learned at one point to light a candle and to just focus on the flame in the candle, not think about anything else, as a way of going into what we call trance, going into this relaxed state. Some people meditate by being very mindful as they walk, feeling each step and how it feels in their body to walk. Just be aware of that. The meditations that I usually invite people to share with me are focusing on our breathing, because that works easily. And thank you for putting the information in the chat while I'm talking. That's really great. So, like I said, it's proven, there's lots of research on meditation, and it's proven that it's really helpful to our health and to our mental state and to our heart to spend some time every day in meditating, which just means being mindful and breathing slowly. Okay?
Should we light the candle now?
Yes, let's do that. And when you light your candle, I'm going to ask you to hold it up for a minute so we can.
I wish to connect to my friend through an image or, for example, something that we shared, because that's what's going to help me really to be with her, because I don't know how to work on my breathing. I have never done this as my other friends. I have never been in meditation. So I don't know really how to work on my breathing. So I will choose to connect to one time where we have a discussion or when we have like sharing something. That's
Yes,
what
and I'm going
That's
to.
funny you said that, Sabrina, because I grabbed my bracelet that has her name right before we
That's good.
started.
Yes.
Oh, is it really? I don't have it, but.
Well, I'm going to ask you as we go into meditation to connect with a memory of either Sally, or if you didn't know Sally, of somebody that you have loved and who you have lost, who is no longer with you. Most of us have lost somebody through death or through separation, where you can't be together anymore. That also causes us to grieve. And grieving is simply, and it's totally natural, and we're going to do it anyway because we feel like there's a hole in the middle of us, right? When we think about somebody that we have loved who's not with us anymore, first thing we feel is, oh, I wish they were here. And grieving is actually all the feelings that we have when we are missing the person. We feel sad. We might feel mad, angry. You know, how dare she leave us? How dare that person take her away from us? That's okay. That's a natural part of grieving. We may come to a feeling of acceptance, which is helpful, but the grieving process, keeps going through the different feelings. And whatever feeling comes up, it's part of grieving. And sometimes we feel crazy when we're grieving because we forget things, or we don't feel with it because we feel in shock. That's a normal part of grieving too. So we need to give ourselves wide boundaries when we're grieving, and just realize, okay, I'm grieving. That's what's happening. And I need to do that. What we need to do is to accept that, yes, I miss her, him, them, whoever. That's natural. It is a part of my growth process, because as I am grieving, as I'm having these feelings, I'm also learning how to function, even though I have these feelings. And those feelings, come to us whenever we experience loss. And loss is a normal part of living. We will lose people we love. We will lose places we have lived and loved. We may lose an occupation or job that we have loved. We may lose an ability that has given us much pleasure. We will grieve all of these things. People grieve as they age, for instance, because they physically often can't do the same kinds of things they did when they were 20 or 25. As you get into your 30s and 40s and 50s, your body changes. You can't do the same physical things. So then who are you? The question in grieving is always, who am I now? And that's a question that all of us get to answer for ourselves. For instance, in the aging process, who am I now? I can't run a 3-minute mile anymore. But what have I gained? What am I able to do now that I wasn't able to do when I could run the 3-minute mile? There will be things, because as we ripen, as we mature, we lose things and we gain things. And so it's important to become aware in a balanced way. And when we are grieving a person, we also find ourselves again after losing the person. And we'll talk about that during the meditation. So meditation is simply time that we kind of stop pedaling the bicycle. We coast. We just let it happen. And it helps us to regenerate. So I'd like to ask Sally's sister, maybe, or Sabrina, or anybody who's here, what does peace in grief mean to you? What is it that brings you a sense of peace? What does peace mean to you in this moment? Anybody?
For me,
Um,
peace means just being calm with what's happened and having acceptance around it.
Okay, good. Being calm with what happened. Excellent. Anybody else like to add to that?
Maybe just being in my bed. It's
Being
time
in
to
your
sleep.
bed?
It makes me feel peaceful to have a place to sleep, comfortable. Just that makes me feel absolutely peaceful.
Good. Being
And
able to relax
the-
into
The
your bed.
sorry, go ahead. The acceptance part, like not necessarily agreeing with what happened, but coming to terms and accepting it. I think that's all part of grief. And then when you come to accepting, then you feel peace.
Yes, accepting.
Acceptance.
And realizing, okay, this is reality. This is real. It happened. It's sad. It's hurtful. And it happened. I accept it. And we can go beyond that. Just saying, oh, okay, it happened. We can look for what did we learn from this person? What of this person is still a part of us? Because it really feels like when somebody leaves, that they take a part of us with them, doesn't it? We feel like there's a hole.
Yes, for me, for
But
example, when my friend left, the part that I feel she took with her is the companionship. I was doing everything with her. We were like doing everything together, and then other friends also left to other places like Istanbul. So I felt that I was left lonely until my other friend from Canada came back. But during this period, and even with her presence here, sometimes I feel that I miss hanging around with my friend and talking to her.
right. But
You know,
what did
um,
you keep of her?
in my
Smile.
case, sorry to interrupt you,
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Maria.
Sabrina.
Maria. No, go
So
ahead.
in my case, I met Sally for a short time.
Yes.
However, she made me feel something that I have never felt in many years, which was that I felt young. I'm still young. Of course, I'm only 25 years, but she
Right.
made me feel much younger, like when I was a teenager.
Cool.
She made me remember those times when I was just thinking about not very important things, just living the moment. She made me feel like young again, like teenager.
You know
So
what?
I love that.
You can do that anytime you want, can't you?
but it's different, you know, because the people that you hang around with, they don't have the innocence she had.
Right. And
And I think
you still have that memory of Sally
yes,
in you. You can go back and be in that memory and feel that joy and that innocence anytime you want to. She left you that gift.
I feel for like some of us, like me and Sabrina, we've gotten a lot closer to other friends, like her sister and Miriam. It's all brought us a lot closer together.
Yes, exactly. So she gave you the gift of new friendships. So we lose and we also gain at the same time. And the ability to grieve successfully is to have a balanced response, to realize, yeah, I feel a hole. I miss her, but she gave me part of herself that I can go back and experience in my imagination, in memory. And that was a gift. And I can learn to do that with other people. So that is the other side of grief, that there is always a bunch of gifts that we integrate and make part of ourselves going forward. So we become better, bigger people as we integrate the loss. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to invite you now to join me in meditation, which is simply a relaxed state in which we are focusing our attention on breathing in this case. So I invite you to relax back into your cushion, your mat, your chair, your sofa, your bed, whatever. And put aside anything that's in your hands or on your lap so you can relax. You can really relax. And start to deepen and slow your breathing. Focus on what breathing feels like. Breathe in slowly. Pause. Breathe out slowly. Pay attention to the air in your nostrils. It's cooler to breathe in, and it warms up before we breathe it out. Pay attention to that. Feel that difference. Just be aware of it. Focus on it. Pay attention to your abdomen rising and falling. Just pay attention to that and to the air flowing into and out of your nostrils. Feel every part of your body relaxing as you breathe in and out slowly, noticing how it feels to breathe. life is connectedness. All living beings, plants and animals alike, are breathing. We are sharing the same life, the same breath. Breath is life. Every living being shares life with every other being. We depend on each other. We are one with each other. What we feel, others feel. Let us just become aware of how we need each other to live, and feel our gratitude to every being with whom we share or have shared the earth. As we relax into our meditation, I invite you to bring to mind someone you have loved and who has left you and left this earthly plane. Remember how it felt to be with that person, what you saw, heard, felt in your heart. It's okay to feel how you miss them. And it's okay to feel sad in whatever way you are experiencing missing. When we love someone and they leave, they take with them a part of our mind and heart. That's painful. They also leave us a part of their mind and heart. And that's a gift. Feel the pain and feel the gift. I invite you to become conscious of how you have felt, heard, or seen evidence of your loved one's presence since they left you. It could be a smell, a sound, a thought, a song that you hear maybe on the radio or electronically. It could be an animal or a plant, a flower, that you become aware of often as you think of your loved one. My sister's husband died 20 years ago. For her, knowing that her husband is still with her, still loving her, has come in the form of pennies at her feet. Every penny struck in the year she was born. When I'm with her, her late husband manifests to me with the smell of his pipe tobacco. I've smelled his tobacco often when I'm with that sister. I've talked to people, well, another one, when my first wife died, was 14 years ago. She found ways every couple of days to send a very short message through her computer. And she sent it to me and always to a couple of other friends. So it wasn't just me thinking I was going crazy. For some people, they see, whenever they think of their loved one, they see a certain kind of bird or an insect, like a bee or a feather, or some other encounter with nature, a cloud shape, maybe. Or perhaps they have experienced their loved one in a dream. People who have left the earthly plane often find a way to connect. And those that still love them on earth know always that whoever that person is, she or he is okay. They're fine, they're happy, and they continue to love us deeply. And everything is forgiven. So, for instance, Sally has certainly forgiven whoever murdered her. Because when people leave the earthly plane and enter a spiritual awareness, they understand. They understand everything, as we will when we go there. And understanding leads to forgiveness when we're feeling love. So think about, when have you thought of your loved one? And what kind of experience happens when you think of them? None of us survives alone. We need the earth and the universe and fellow humans and the diversity of beings, those in bodies and those in spirit. We are all connected. Friendship continues. Love continues. Nurturance, sharing, compassion continue. Those we have known who are now in spirit are still very loving to us. And we can ask them to help us, and they will. So let's just breathe for 2 minutes. Being aware of the love, the continuing love of anyone we have loved and lost. Let us also reach out and hold each other in our minds and hearts as all of us are sharing this loving time of peace and love and meditation and relaxing. Now, as you feel comfortable, it's time to bring your attention back into the rest of your body. Feel your muscles, wiggle fingers and toes. When it feels comfortable, gently open your eyes and take a deep breath and stretch. And smile and look at the people who have shared this experience with you and smile at them sharing love. We thank you very much for joining us today, sharing the light of your candle and the light of your peaceful heart. You are all still connected, and you can experience that connection when you need to.
Hi, I'm Tuche.
Tabarak,
I'm
yes.
Sally here. I want to thank you all for this meditation. I really feel like Sally is too close to me. Like our soul is connecting from while, but now I feel like she's more closer to me. And every time I miss her, I put my hand on my heart and feel the beating of my heart and hers. Even if she is physically far from me, but her soul accompanies me wherever I go. She is still alive inside me. She is
Yes,
still alive in me. She was my
that's true.
sister, my soulmate, my friend, and the only one I trusted in. And will
Yes.
remain for as long as I live. Despite the difficulties I faced by losing her, and this was my first lose, I haven't lost anyone close to me before it, but I sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to continue my life and success in my life for me and for her because she taught me how to deal with and overcome difficulties, and she is the one who taught me how to be strong, and I will be strong for her always. And thank you all.
Thank you for sharing.
سالي كانت عبارة عن طاقة الحب والسعادة اللي موجودة كانت بهاي الحياة. كل الأماكن، الأزقة، الطيور، لحظات الحب، الحيوانات والأغاني وضحكات العشاق والشروق، كل شي سالي. وين ما أروح أني أحس إنه هي موجودة بداخلي وين بأي مكان. كل شي يذكرني بيها، حتى العطر اللي هي ما كانت أصلا كلش تفضل العطر، لكن حتى العطر يذكرني بيها بهالمدينة. كانت الإنسان الوحيد اللي شفته بحياتي اللي حتى لما تمر بلحظات سيئة ما تحس إنه هي حست بشعور سيء. ما أعرف شلون يعني أوصف هذا الشي، لكن كانت إنسانية إيجابية أكثر من اللازم. أكثر إنسان إيجابي شفته بحياتي وأكثر إنسان سعيد شفته بحياتي. هي حرفيا ملاك اللي فقدناه. شكرا للكل.
All right, so I will summarize because I cannot remember every word. So Mariam said that Sally was energy, was this positive energy that we all needed, that we all had. She said that her soul was light, and she said that she was the bird, the beautiful song for the bird, the green tree, the sun, everything that was a source of energy in her life. And she said that even in the worst moment where other people would be angry or screaming or doing something, she was still spreading positive energy to others, and that she misses her, and that thank you for everyone.
Thank you, Mariam. And we invite you to join us each week and share the opportunity to go into relaxing meditation again and again with different people on different subjects.